Mr. Harris here, and welcome to a new video of Chapter 4.2. In this video, we're going to talk about what is family planning, birth control, and towards the end of this video, we'll be doing some summary questions. So, first off, what is family planning? So, family planning is basically when families or parents they want to decide that they want to have a baby, they want children based on their health and financial conditions. So essentially, what family planning is, it is to ensure whether a couple, that is the mother and father, they can give enough support and care to their children. So in the previous video, I already talked about what parenting is. So this is just to ensure whether they could fulfill the needs of the children. However, if some parents do not want to have children, they could use these birth control methods. So they have different ways of stopping. So first off, it can either prevent the release of the ovum. Second, it could prevent fertilization. And third, it could prevent the development of the embryo. So let's see some methods. So first off, we have contraceptive pills. So how do these work? Basically, the wife will need to take it under the doctor's instructions. So all of these methods would be best to be used with the doctor's instructions. So this works by stopping the release of the ova from the ovaries. So stops the release of the ovum. The second method is the rhythm method. So this is basically avoiding to have intercourse during the time of the release of the ova. So this prevents the sperms from meeting the ovum. And in the right corner over here, you may notice that there is a percentage. So this is the percentage effectiveness. This is roughly for the first method around 90 something percent. This is 75%. You can also use the third method. This is for females using diaphragm. So it's pronounced as diaphragm. So this prevents the sperms from entering the uterus, roughly around 80%. Then you have condoms. Males can wear this and females as well. So this prevents the sperms from entering the uterus as well. The female condoms, same usage. There are two methods that are permanent. First off, it's the male sterilization. So this is permanent. So you cannot undo it. How this method work? You would tie the sperm ducts and cut them up surgically. So this would prevent the sperms from entering the female body. So this is a permanent method. So in case both of the parents they want to have children, it will not work because this is permanent. You have cut off and tied the sperm ducts. As you can see, the percentage is really high over here. Same thing for the females. This is also permanent. For this, the oviducts are tied and cut off surgically. All right, again, the percentage is very, very high. And finally, there's one more method. This is also for females. It is called the intrauterine device. So this is to prevent the implantation of the embryo. This is also quite a high percentage, but this is not a permanent method. This is not permanent. However, as you can see, the percentage is quite high though. So as I mentioned, the two methods that are permanent, the male sterilization and female sterilization, they're 99% effective. They're only suitable for couples that do not want to have children anymore. On the other hand, condoms, the male condoms and female condoms, they're less effective than sterilization. However, they provide protection against sexually transmitted disease such as AIDS. So now let's do a summary. So first off, fertilization usually takes place in the uterus. Is that correct? No, it is false. What takes place in the uterus? What process? It should be implantation. Implantation takes place in the uterus. So fertilization, it usually takes place in the oviducts. Question B. embryo normally implants into the wall of the oviduct. Is this true? Again, no, this is false. The embryo implantation, where does it occur? It occurs at the uterus. So it should be the uterus instead. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Question C. Each cell of a human embryo carries 46 chromosomes. All right, so this is quite early on. We've learned it. Each cell of a human embryo. Is this true or not? Yes, it is true. Don't get mixed up. Only the human sex cells, they have 23 each. 23 chromosomes each. Okay, and what are the two sex cells for humans? Yes, it is the sperm or the ovum for the females. All other cells, they carry 46 chromosomes. All right, next one. Question D. Contraceptive pills, the first method that we learned about the birth control methods, they work by killing sperms in the female body. Is this true or not? This is actually false. They do not work by killing sperms, they work by stopping the release of ova, of the ovum. All right, let's move on. Question E. Putting an intrauterine device into the uterus is a permanent method of birth control. No, this is false. As I told you earlier, there are only two methods that are permanent, which are the male sterilization and female sterilization. The others are non-permanent. All right, let's move on. Question 2. Match each of the structures A to C with its function. All right, let's have a look. So on the left side, we have the umbilical cord, placenta, amnion, and on the right side, we have the functions. Now, let's have a look one by one. Let's see the first one. It allows the exchange of substances between the mother and the embryo. So this should be the placenta. Yes, this is the placenta. Now let's see the other one. Function 2, secretes amniotic fluid. This is a simple one. It should be the amnion. All right, and the last one carries substances between the mother and the embryo, so it goes back and forth, which is the umbilical cord. Remember when we cut off? That's the belly button we get. Yes, so it carries substances between the mother and the embryo. Now let's see the last one. Complete the flow chart to show the process of human reproduction. Okay, this is a good question. So let's complete it. So first off, we have the human sex cells, right? So we have the sperm and the ovum. They fertilize, and fertilization takes place and forms a. So when these two come together, what do they form? They form a zygote. Yes, Zygote. And after repeated cell divisions, it forms an embryo. Very good. After the formation of the embryo, implantation takes place, and after roughly 8 weeks, when major organs start to be formed, the embryo develops into a fetus. And finally, after roughly 38 weeks or 9 months, the fetus is born as a baby. Yes. All right. So again, let me repeat the human reproduction flowchart. First off, you have the sperm and the ovum. Fertilization takes place to form a zygote. And afterwards, the zygote, due to repeated cell divisions, it will form an embryo. And after the formation of the embryo, implantation takes place and develops into a fetus. And this, as I've told you earlier, roughly takes around 8 weeks or so. Oh, let me rub that out. And then after the 8 weeks For further 30 or so weeks, the fetus will be eventually born as a baby. And the birth process, earlier I've already mentioned how the mother gives birth when the mother goes into labor, so you can also check that out. All right, so that sums up our video for this topic, chapter 4.2. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.